I know, guys. I am really late on this one. Normally, I have it up by Tuesday at the latest, and it is Friday. But hey, I gave you a short review of Manner of Death the other day, so that's something. Maybe? I don't know. Anyways, this was a really short episode. It was like 18 minutes, but it felt like 8 minutes. And I'm starting to remember stuff from the novel, and I'm like, oh. So I kind of like, I'm remembering what's really going on here, and it's making me a little nervous. So at the start of the episode, I felt like I wasn't watching Heaven's Official Blessing. I felt like I was watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, to be honest. The whole thing just gave me Avatar vibes. Especially the way they're fighting. It was pretty ridiculous. It was actually pretty fun to watch, but it was ridiculous. I couldn't unsee the Avatar thing, so it took me out of it a little bit, to be honest. Anyways, so, the wind god / goddess and this other chick, they're have a disagreement, clearly. And then Nanfeng interrupts and I guess becomes Zuko and a firebender and is like whoosh, whoosh, and distracts them, which good for him. The Fire Nation attacked, I guess. After the opening credits, we see XL and Hao Chang lifting up rubble to help the guide, Zan, who I now remember who he is. I know who he is. And it's like, I was suspicious of him because it's like, there's something I remember reading in the book, but I didn't remember what it was. And now I remember. I remember what Zan's deal is. And I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say because I don't want to spoil. But Zan has a deal. He has a problem. You know who else has a problem? Me. Me with Hao Chang's hair. Like, I get it. It's supposed to be a romantic thing, XL fixed his hair, and now he keeps it like that, and he keeps having him fix his hair, even though he's clearly bad at it. The same way, he eats XL's poisonous cooking. It's a love thing. It's whatever. But it bothers me. I feel like it either needs to be more centered in the back, or he just needs to have pigtails, a ponytail on each side, because it is so just disconcerting to look at. And I'm just like, I don't know if it's like OCD or something, but it just looks so terrible from the back. From the front it looks fine, but from the back I don't know. Anyways, so they end up going towards the palace to search for this herb that can, cure this poison, venom, and he ends up accidentally grabbing a leg, and it turns out, that Punk and a few other people followed him, because that's safe. Let's do that. Shows how much trust they had in them. None. Also, of course, how Chang finds said herb that they were looking for. He knows way too much than he should. And I have vague recollection of why, but not fully. But it's like, you're being really sus, Hao Chang. Like, really sus. Oh, wait, I mean Song Lan. Sorry, guys. Song Lan. Really love how all he has to do with the herb he found is he just has to vaguely put it on top of the open wound, and then magically it's all better. Like, that's the most bull thing I have ever seen. That is so lazy. Oh, let me just rub it against my open, festering wound. Everything will be okay. While searching for more herbs, they end up coming across a face that's in the ground. One of them stepped on it. And, Song Lang knew something was up over there, and he actually stops XL from searching further up there. Again, being suspicious. But, I have to say, the face I remember in the book being more unnerved and creeped out. Like, there was this feeling at the pit of my stomach. Like, I was terrified at the idea of this face. But now that I see it, I'm not terrified. That is one weak face. I'm not impressed with it. I'm just not. There's very few things, animation-wise, I was not impressed with. And this is just one of them. So far, the biggest thing I'm not impressed with is this face. I feel like it could have been creepier. There's some other things that are in this episode that I'm not impressed with also, but the face is the biggest thing. Like, this is something that made me so unnerved and scared in the book. And to see it and just go, oh, huh. It's like I was let down. We find out he used to be a traveler, and now he's just fertilizer for the herbs, which freaks, XL out, rightly so. And Hao Chang's like, Song Lang is like, hey, don't worry, that herbs that I used on you is safe. It's not contaminated. We also found out from the face that he has seen somebody in that group 60 years ago, which should be impossible. Unless it's a god or a ghost. Wonder who could that be? Who could he be talking about? The other disappointing thing in this episode was the general and the other members of this basically, zombie undead army. They don't look like undead zombie thingies to me. Or ghosts. Whatever they're supposed to be, ghosts, undead, I don't care. They're not supposed to be alive, all right? And they don't look like any of those things to me. You know what they look like? Orcs. They look like frickin' orcs. It's like I went from Avatar The Last Airbender to frickin' Lord of the Rings. These are just pretty orcs. Such a disappointment. The orc army then end up capturing the whole group. Because they're big and tall and muscular, and they're orcs. I know they're not orcs, guys. I know they're not, but I can't help but refer to them as that at this point. Such a disappointment. I feel like Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation spoiled me. I'm just saying. I'm spoiled in how things should look, and now I'm just being disappointed by this. So the whole group ends up getting led to the Sinner's Pit. And, they're way too calm about it, honestly. Like, I'd be crying. I'd be straight up bawling. But for the most part, I'm just amazed at how long it takes for any of them to freak out. It's around here that I start to really remember, oh, so this is what's happening. I remember this. When I saw that girl on the pole, I was like, oh. And things clicked. And I was like, okay, now I know where we're at in the novel. And then I saw the guide look at the hanging girl. And I'm like, oh. Right as they're getting ready to just throw a couple people, into the Sinner's Pit, the travel guide suddenly snaps. And he goes and attacks the head orc general dude. And everybody's like, what? This come out of nowhere. And of course he doesn't win, and he gets thrown into the pit. And then the rest of this part of the story, the chapter in the novel, really comes back. And I'm like, The vile creatures then decide that they're gonna yeet the kid next into the pit. 'Cause, screw those kids. XL tries to stop them from doing that because, hashtag save the children. And they're like, no, you're suspicious. We're going to question you later. And we're going to throw another person down because, you know what? We're just going to do that. Gotta feed the pit, right? Well, this craziness is going on and deciding who's going to be the final person in the pit. The boy or, someone else. Song Lang's like, I volunteer as tribute. And he walks to the edge of this plank area and he's like, peace. And XL's like, wait, don't do it. And the guy's like, chill, don't worry, it's gonna be totally fine. I'll be back. And with way too cute a smile, he just yeets himself off, smiling the whole time, before he disappears into the darkness and you hear sounds that don't sound too good. And I remember this part in the chapter too. I remember this. XL sends out his, bandages to save him, and suddenly he can't manage to catch him. Also, why did he not do that when the guide was, yeeted? What was so special about, Song Lung compared to this guide? He could have tried to save him too, but he didn't. And then the episode just ends with him, screaming, Song Lung, oh no, and realizing, his bandages weren't able to catch him. Because he's really terrible at using those things to be able to catch anything worthwhile when he wants it to. Anyways, tell me, what did you guys think of the episode? What do you guys think of the story so far? And am I the only one that was a little disappointed with some of the designs of this episode? Let me know down below what you guys are thinking. And as always, have a good day, week, month, year, whatever.